Hello everybody and welcome to my general walkthrough video for the Easter Classic Tournament here on the BK Golf Clash channel. Before we get started, don't forget to hit thumbs up please, it will be much appreciated and helps support the channel. If you aren't subscribed, please click the button and enable the bell button as well to get notified when we upload new content or go live. We will be playing a full 9 holes of the Sakura Hills course for the Easter Classic Tournament, found on Tour 3. It's been there an awful long time, but we don't usually see this in higher tours from second or third tee, so it's going to be interesting for those playing Pro, Expert and Master particularly. We are going to put all of the overviews on hole by hole, and I'm going to show you some suggested routes and play for these holes, with also some elevations, but bear in mind these will need to be tweaked according to how you want to set up the shots and also depending on what wind direction and strength we're going to have throughout the week. Let's get started with hole number 1. Hole number 1 then, we begin with a par 4, and for me this is a very good chance for an eagle. Not a guarantee, but a decent enough chance. 10% extra on the drive, going to bounce before that right hand fairway bunker with some top spin and right spin, and if you've got some right curl on your driver, I'd be using it here as well. The goal for me will be to gain as much distance as possible. The second shot is going to be played 10% downhill as well, bouncing before the green, either with the long iron or the short iron. My preference would be with the short iron. I much prefer trying to get an eagle with thorn rather than any long iron, but obviously in some headwind scenarios we may not be able to gain that much distance on the drive to be within range of our short iron. So we're just going to have to see what winds we're going to get. But 10% extra on the second shot. There is a fairly hefty second bounce wind push to deal with according to where we bounce, but still it's a decent chance for an eagle start to your round. Hole 2, very simple and straightforward par 3. There's only really one way to play this. There's no rough to contend with for rough bumps. It's just a straightforward bounce up shot here. In rookie division, going to be with the long iron, and either long iron or wood club for pro and expert, and obviously it's going to be wood club only for master division players. Plus 20% is the general elevation I'm going with here. Great chance for a hole in one here, and because it's a fairly straight route to the hole, don't really need a great amount of side spin on the ball here, so definitely for rookies can get away with a basic ball or even a marlin, and pro and maybe expert, if you're not fancying kingmaker, then navigator's going to be absolutely fine here on hole number 2. On to the first par 5 then, and I really like this one. It's an interesting one, and depending what the wind's doing is going to determine our route. If we do have tailwind, then for me I'm going to be trying to bounce over, or indeed double bounce over if you're from the rear 2 tees, over that fairway bunker there after the first piece of fairway. 10% extra on that one. From there, hoping we will then be into long iron range for the second shot going up to the green. The issue with the second shot, it's a little bit difficult to get a guaranteed line to the pin. So you are going to have to look for a good bounce point here and adjust accurately to get a chance of an albatross. It's not the easiest one in the world, but by all means, if you've played aggressively on the drive and you've cleared it nicely, you do have a chance, which is better than nothing. If we have headwind, I'm going to be going for the layup, which is the black route here. 10% on the drive again, and even though there are trees there that seem to be in the way, we can actually shoot over those very easily with our wood club. You can either bounce directly on the fairway before the green, or you can play with topspin and bounce up over the rough to the green area to secure an eagle. Hole 4 then, another of the par 3s, and similar to hole 2, this is a fairly straightforward route to the pin, so we're only going to need a side spin 1 ball here. Definitely rookie and pro, I'll be fine with a navigator. 10% extra is the elevation I'll be using here, bouncing over the bunker there, and a very good chance for a hole in one. There's a kind of mini funnel which takes the ball in towards the pin very nicely. I'm wondering whether you're going to see people attempt a rough bump here though. I have had a couple of opponents use that against me in recent times in the game. It's not very commonly used, however, with the need for extra drops, especially with these difficult brackets in tier 3, I'm just wondering if people are going to attempt a very slim rough bump just above the sand there. Going to be interesting on hole number 4. Onto a par 4 now for the 5th hole. Drive playing 10% extra, and we're going to be playing up towards the top of that first piece of fairway. Important really to avoid clipping any rough or going into the bunkers, as we are going to have a very, very difficult time reaching the green in 2, especially if we're in that first pair of fairway bunkers. So 10% here on the drive. Second shot, you've got 2 routes. The general elevation I've put here is -20. That's kind of more for the black line, which is the route I'm used to playing. Here we are going to need a club with curl, and obviously we're looking at a wood club here as well. It does play uphill, like I say, so be careful with your adjustment here, depending on what the wind is doing. And if you are using curl, you do not want to go directly into the bunker on the right. That can happen if you under or over adjust your shot, hit a bad great right, or don't leave room for the curl with your landing position. So don't set up too close to the rough on this one. Just aim to get to the green for a safe birdie putt. Eagle is going to be difficult, I feel, on this par 4, unless you play the white line for your second shot. And that one is, of course, a rough bump. If you can get in a good position to do that and are brave enough to go for it, then that will, I feel, give you the best chance to eagle on hole number 5. Couple of options to choose from here on hole 6, which is another par 5. Mostly I will be playing the white route here, shown at the right hand side of the hole, and it's going between that little island of trees and the right hand bunkers. Bouncing over, just cutting the corner of the rough with some topspin. I like drivers with good accuracy on this hole, as the fairway is quite narrow either side of those trees. 10% extra on the drive. From there you've got 2 choices. You can bounce over on that piece of fairway to the green to claim your eagle. However, if you want to be brave, go with a rough bump and try your arm for an albatross there. Right up the top there, it's bouncing between the bunker and the green. If we get a lot of tailwind, and we're talking really expert and master division here, then there is a send it option on the left, shown with the black arrows, with some decent power ball, plenty of topspin. Bounce just to the left of the trees, and then with a bit of topspin and left spin, see if you can gain as much distance as possible. Then hopefully you're going to be within long iron range, maybe even short iron if you get a load of carry on your ball and you've got some good clubs to work with. And you've got a chance at an albatross there if we do get a large amount of tailwind. Hole 7, definitely the trickiest of the par 3s that we have in this tournament, especially compared to the other 2, which are quite easy. You've got 2 options here. The white line is bouncing on the little piece of fairway before the green. You can also bounce on the right hand side of those 2 circular pads. Both of them though do require some precision, and when you move your ball guide and your target around, you will see quite a lot of variation in the second bounce. You are going to need some backspin here to steady the ball to the pin. Chances of a hole-in-one playing that route are pretty slim in my opinion, but you will need a lot of backspin, so choose your clubs accordingly there. Again, for those feeling brave who don't mind a bit of a slim strip of rough to try a rough bump, then the black line here is demonstrating that route. As I said, it's not a huge patch of rough, and there is risk here if you get your adjustment wrong. You could plug directly into the bunker, or you could miss the rough completely and take a flyer over the back of the green. However, that is going to give you the best chance at a hole-in-one. So the choice is yours on hole number 7. The final of the par 4s, the 8th hole now. Looks pretty simple on the overview, but there are some challenging moments here. 10% extra on the drive, going to be playing with topspin and plenty of right spin here. Don't risk the rough on the left. You want to be using that right spin and maybe even some curl to get as close to the green as possible, or at least a little bit nearer to the green, to give you a chance at an eagle. The approach shot is tricky here. If you get close enough and you're feeling brave, yes, you can go for the dunk. However, as always, dunks can be a little bit risky, and a couple of times here I have hit the pin and gone into one of the bunkers, so bear that in mind. However, if we have headwind on this one, then obviously our drives are going to be slightly shorter, in which case we play a long iron up to the green. Second shot is uphill, -10%, and you've got to be careful where you're bouncing up here. You can get a very, very high second bounce, so backspin is key. but I also remember playing quite a good shot with a grizzly here, which some people were dropping pretty consistently. I think that was in expert last time. So, you know, it's not without its problems, but we do have a chance for an eagle here. So it would be a good bonus drop if you can get one here on hole number 8. And finally, the 9th hole. And once again, it's a par 5. Now, don't be fooled here. The diagram makes it look fairly straightforward. However, for me, this is trickier than it looks. Firstly, the tees are quite set back from the fairway. This is a long old hole. So we are going to need distance here, power balls and topspin, regardless of what tee you're playing from. Big topper is, of course, going to be useful for rookies, but then when we're going up to pro, expert and master, high-level apox, Thor's hammer with plenty of topspin, going to work well here. If we can get as much distance as we can on the drive on the white route, playing 10% extra, then we will stand a chance of getting to the green in 2. It will be 0% for the second shot. However, with the bunkers there, very, very difficult to attack the pin with the second shot. For me, this is all about securing the eagle. If we have difficult wind here, like headwind, this is going to be very, very difficult to try and get to the green in 2. So we would then have to lay up slightly shorter and then go with the wood club on our second shot to where the black line is at the right side of the first piece of fairway. Lay up there, and then with your third shot you are looking at either a max backspin shot or, once again, for those feeling brave, that is going to be a rough bump attempt for eagle. But like I said, there are plenty of bunkers here and there's plenty of risk and opportunity to scupper an easy eagle on hole number 9. So be careful on this one. It's going to be very, very interesting with different winds throughout the week. Thank you so much everybody for watching this general walkthrough. I do hope it was useful to you all, and good luck in the Easter Classic tournament. See you all soon. Bye for now.